Hey guys, Jacob Barnhill here with the Barnhill team at eXp Realty, and I want to go over a couple scenarios, whether you're a buyer or a seller, a couple different recommendations and scenarios if your property does not appraise. So if you're the seller, and let's say you get all these offers and it's this crazy market, we got 20 offers and it goes $20,000, $30,000 over list price. Well, it may appraise, but it may not appraise. And what happens typically when a property doesn't appraise is we'll have to renegotiate. What typically happens is if there were any concessions, very usual when we weren't in the market that we're in right now, the buyer would ask for some assistance with closing costs, things like that. We still do see it, obviously. I'm being a little bit sarcastic, but sometimes the buyer will be asking for closing costs. There may be some other things negotiated, which is why you don't want to do too much in repairs possibly, or you want to get some things hammered out in negotiations if we're still waiting on appraisal to come back, and you're already spending some money on repairs that the buyers asked for in their inspections, and we feel like maybe this might not appraise. There's some things that we need to consider, and I think you could see really quickly how you'd want to have a professional helping you out with some of these things, thinking ahead a couple steps. We could help you win and possibly save some extra money, given this timeline into account. So we'd have to renegotiate. Some of these closing costs may come back off the table for you buyers, and the seller may say, nope, I got to make this amount, and this is what I want, and I'm gonna take back some of that closing costs. What if there wasn't any closing costs? What would happen then? Well, the seller would have to take less or not sell the property if it didn't appraise, unless you had an agent who was thinking ahead and we knew that we were likely over appraisal when you were accepting an offer, and we could have worked in something in the negotiations before we signed the purchase and sale agreement contract, and we were going into the written agreement on what we were going to do. If I felt like we were over $20,000, $30,000 and probably wouldn't appraise even in this market, then maybe we would want to look at, hey, Mr. Buyer, if we don't appraise up to this price, are you willing to come in with some extra cash? Or we've even worked out second payments where the seller would get payments on a property, right? In special situations, we've worked out a second payment option where there's another loan essentially. It's really advanced stuff, and it's really depends on the situation, and the buyer would be paying a second loan to that seller for maybe 1 to 3 years or something like that, or a combination of some cash and some payments on top of if they couldn't come up with it all at closing for anything over that appraisal, right? Sometimes lenders may not allow you to do that. It's really dependent on the situation, but there's some advanced stuff that we can get into depending on the situation, which is why you want an expert when you guys are in a market like this. There's tons of other stuff that we can do to be preemptive and that we have in our process to leverage the offer situation and things like that. But those are a couple really extra and kind of advanced things, and it's all about communication and making sure that we have our sellers and also our buyers' best interests at heart, and communicating, knowing what we're getting into in these situations so that we're thinking ahead and we're not stepping in places that we shouldn't be for you guys, because money's important, right? I think we can all agree on that. So, simple, quick video today. I hope you guys got some value out of this. Look for the next video, and I will see you guys soon. Thanks.